Hello, ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls. Okay, my name is Belinda Achi, and I will be presenting your lesson today on human nutrition, part 1. All right. Okay, so before we begin, okay, let's please make sure our speaker volume is turned up. Please make sure you can hear me. Okay, but also please note that you are muted, so I will not hear you if you say something. So if you've got questions, there's a question box. There's a question box there, okay, that you can use to type out any questions that you have. Please use that for communication purposes. Also, when you ask questions, guys, please make sure it's questions that are related to the content, to today's content, okay? And then I'm going to answer them as soon as possible, okay? Please type out all the questions that you have on the question box, but it must be questions that are related to the content, nothing else, okay? Again, I have uploaded the slides. You will find it on the handout tab. Please make sure you download them and save them for future use. Okay. If you do not understand something, or if I am going too fast, please just type it in the question box and ask me to slow down, or ask me to repeat something that might not have been clear to you. But please ask as many questions as you would like. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Okay, stupid questions are those ones that people do not ask. So please ask any questions. Even if you think it's a stupid question, please just ask. Okay, but no inappropriate comments or questions will be attended to. Okay, only questions that are related to this content. Okay, if you did not get to ask your questions on the question box, feel free to email it to academics@impact.co.za. Okay, and then I will answer the questions, and we will email you the feedback as soon as possible. Okay, and you can visit the Impact YouTube channel for a recording. Okay, and then you can just listen to this over again. Okay, especially if you think I've went too fast, you can just go back and replay up until you understand. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I will be able to impart some knowledge to you guys. I hope I won't bore you to sleep. I know the weather is nice and comfortable for sleeping out there. I hope you enjoyed today's session, and I hope we can use this opportunity for good. Right. So the topics that you will do this term are photosynthesis. I have posted some notes on photosynthesis. They are very clear and self-explanatory, so you can use those notes as together with your textbook. But you can, it's very nice and easy. You can go through it by yourself. Okay. Also, if you have questions on this photosynthesis, you can email it to us as well, and then I will try and answer them. Okay, the next topic that you will do this term is animal nutrition. All right, that is the digestive system, the organs in the digestive system, and homeostasis, and dietary requirements, and diseases of the digestive tract. Okay, And then the last topic that you're going to do this term is cellular respiration, okay, which is a reverse of that photosynthesis. So if you have done the photosynthesis and you are comfortable with it, this will go much easier for you because it's just the reverse of that topic, right? So together with the topics that you have done last term, microorganisms and biodiversity of plants and biodiversity of animals. And okay, I think I'm forgetting one topic here. Together with those, that will constitute your topics for the June examination, whenever it will be fit for us to write the June examinations. Okay, so you can use the slides together with your textbook to study for your June examinations. All right. Sorry guys, it says grade 12 there. It's supposed to be grade 11. Okay, it is supposed to be grade 11, not grade 12. I'm sorry about that. Okay, you can just change it if you have printed the notes. Okay, so we will be looking at nutrition today. Okay, so in the previous topic, we have learned about photosynthesis. So we have learned that plants, which are known as autotrophs, produce their own food via a process known as photosynthesis. So this means that we as animals, being consumers or being heterotrophs meaning that we cannot produce our own food but rely on other organisms for food. Okay, we cannot produce our own starch, unfortunately. Okay, this means in order for us to get the starch, we will need to eat fruit or vegetables or whatever food that has starch in order for us to get the starch. Okay, so unlike plants that are autotrophic, we cannot produce our own food. Okay, we cannot produce our own food. We rely on other organisms, animals, plants, processed foods from plants and animals to obtain the nutrients and minerals that the body needs. Okay, if you remember from grade 10, we went much into detail on nutrients, vitamins and minerals that the body needs and how they help us or how they help our bodies. Okay, we've went through that in grade 10. If you have your textbooks from last year, you can quickly go and have a look after this session to see which part of our body needs what nutrients to prevent what deficiency or to prevent which disease from our body. But it's not going to be examined. Okay, we are only interested in the breakdown of the food from complex molecules to simpler molecules that the body can absorb and make use of. So '11 session and not grade 12. Okay. Okay, I am lagging. I'll try to fix that just now. Okay, let's try to fix that. The notes are found on the handout section. Please download them. Okay, just give me a moment while I fix my internet connection. Okay, I'm connected on my side. Okay, can you guys please, by raise of hands, indicate if you can hear me or if I'm still breaking up? Can you hear me? Please raise your hands if you can hear me properly. Okay, leave it down if I'm breaking up or if I'm glitching from your side. Please put your hand down if I'm glitching or if you cannot hear me clearly. Okay, so can you put your hands down, please? Put up your hands. Right. Okay, you can put them down. Let's continue with the session. Okay, I am aware that the internet might be a bit slow. Please just bear with me. Okay, let's just try and make the most of it and get out what we can get out from the session. Okay, please just bear with me. Thank you. Okay, back to the session. So inside the cell membrane of the cell where it is used, and it cannot be absorbed by the blood also for usage. So the food that we eat is complex, and it therefore needs to be broken into simpler substances that can diffuse into the cell membrane and be used by the body. By complex, I don't necessarily mean that like a slice of bread that is huge needs to be broken down into smaller pieces that can be ingested into the body. That by complex, I mean the nature of the food particle is complex. By looking at let's look at carbohydrates, for example. Okay, we know that carbohydrates can either be monosaccharides, which are the simplest form of a carbohydrate. It can be a disaccharide, which is a combination of both of two monosaccharides, or a carbohydrate can be a polysaccharide. For example, starch. Remember, during photosynthesis, starch is produced. Okay, so starch in itself is a complex molecule, and it cannot be diffused into the cell membrane. It cannot be absorbed by the blood. So only simple or monosaccharides can be diffused into the cell membrane. Okay, so this is the whole point of the digestive system, to break down complex food particles into simpler particles that can diffuse into the cell membrane so that it can be used for its function, can be used to help the body. Okay, so the whole point of the digestive system is to break down complex food substances into simpler food substances that the body can use. Okay, if you've got any questions, please write them in the question box and they will be attended to. Remember, again, this is a grade 12. This is a grade 11 session, sorry, not a grade 12 session. Okay. Animals are classified into 3 categories depending on the type of food they eat. Okay. We have herbivores, which are animals that eat plants only. Okay, so their dietary consists of plants only. And we have carnivores, which are animals that eat meat. Okay, so those are meat-eating animals. And then we have omnivores, which eat both plants and animals. So depending on what type of food they eat, animals can be classified into those categories. Okay. So in this session in particular, we're going to be looking at the digestive system. So the organs of the digestive system and the role they play in the digestion of food, the role they play in the breaking down of those complex molecules into simpler molecules. Okay, we will be looking into the alimentary canal and its accessory organs. Okay, including the tongue, the salivary glands, the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas. Okay, all the way up until the anus. Okay, so we will be looking at these structures or these organs and their functions or their role they play in the digestion of food. Okay, keep those questions coming, guys. Okay, and they will be attended to. Right. Okay, let's look at an overview of the alimentary canal. Okay, it starts from the mouth. Alimentary canal starts at the mouth, which is where the digestion begins or where digestion is assumed. Okay, then we have our pharynx there. Right after the pharynx, it extends into our esophagus, which leads to the stomach. We'll be going into the roles each of these organs play in the digestion of food. Okay, and then we have our pancreas there. The stomach will lead to our small intestines. Okay, and then we have our colon, also known as large intestines. Okay, so you can call them colon or large intestines, whatever you prefer, which leads to the anus. We also have our accessory organs. In the mouth, the accessory organs in our mouth would be our tongue, our teeth, and our salivary glands. We have the liver, we have the gallbladder. That green organ over there is known as our gallbladder. And the pancreas. Okay. Okay. Yes, I will be going through the digestive system in next week's session. how it works to break down the food. Okay, today we will just be looking at the organs and the role they play in the digestive system. Okay, let's start with the mouth and the mouth cavity. Okay, the mouth is a cavity that is lined with a mucous membrane, and basically this is where the whole process begins. Okay, we have the teeth in the mouth, but we'll be talking about the teeth later on since it's an accessory organ. We're going to go into more detail on what function they play later on the lesson. Sorry about that. But in the mouth, it's found in the mouth nonetheless, and then it assists with the mechanical breakdown of food. By mechanical, I mean the physical breaking down of the food, cutting it off and breaking it down into smaller particles. Okay, not necessarily the chemical breakdown of food, but they assist with the mechanical breakdown of the food. Okay, and then also in the mouth we have saliva, okay, containing an enzyme known as amylase. Okay, we will also be looking at enzymes in more detail in the next session. Okay, but by now I think you have an idea of what an enzyme is. An enzyme is a catalyst that speeds up a chemical reaction. It's a catalyst that speeds up a chemical reaction. Okay, we have a lot of enzymes that are released during the during digestion, as they help with the breaking down. They help speed up the rate at which the food is broken down into simpler substances. Okay, so we will go into more detail in the next session. Okay, but in the saliva, we have an enzyme amylase, which is mixed with the food during the chewing process to form a bolus. So bolus is just the ball of food that is already mixed with the saliva. Okay, and then the digestion process begins. The digestion process begins. Okay, amylase is an enzyme that breaks down starch. So all complex biological molecules have a specific enzyme that helps with its breaking down. Okay, so although amylase breaks down starch, lactose will be broken down by a different enzyme. Okay, lactose will then be broken down by lactase and so forth. Okay, again, in the mouth we have mucus, which lubricates or softens the food so that it can be swallowed easily. Okay, imagine swallowing a rusk, as hard as it is. Okay, that is very deadly. Okay, so the mouth is very important. Okay, otherwise we would not survive. Okay, imagine swallowing an apple, and a whole apple, as hard as it is. So the mucus in the mouth lubricates the food for easier swallowing. Right? Can everyone still hear me? Can everyone still hear me? Please quickly raise your hands and put them down if you can hear me. Okay, please raise your hands if you are still with me. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, let's continue. Okay. Now in the mouth, our digestion has begun. We move on to the next structures in the alimentary canal. Okay. We have the pharynx, found between the mouth cavity and the esophagus. Okay, the role it plays is it transports the bolus. Remember that ball of a mixture of the saliva and the food. Okay, the pharynx transports the bolus from the mouth to the esophagus. From there, it is moved into the esophagus, which is a muscular tube that lies behind the trachea. Okay, remember what the trachea is? Okay, the esophagus transports bolus to stomach by peristalsis. So peristalsis is simply contraction and relaxation of the muscles in the tube. So as the food is being moved down, the muscles will contract and relax as the food is moving down. That is known as peristalsis. That process is known as peristalsis, the contraction and relaxation of the muscles. Okay, I see you guys are asking questions. Please feel free to send as many questions as possible. I will get back to each one of them. Okay, if you are asking questions on your textbook, please just mention what textbook you are using so that I can give you an informed feedback on where to find it in your textbook. So please just mention also what textbook you are using, and then I can let you know where you can find it in your textbook. Okay, so after the bolus has been transported to the stomach, okay, I mean, from the esophagus, the bolus will be transported to the stomach, which is a sac-like organ with thick muscular walls, and it is located beneath the diaphragm. Okay, the stomach serves as a temporary storage area for food. It's temporary. The food is not going to stay there for long. Okay, do you guys know how big your stomach is? It's as big as your fist. Your stomach is as big as your fist. Okay, there. So this means my stomach will be that big. Okay. And it is advisable to eat food as big as your fist. I'm just joking, guys. You can just that's just a joke. Eat as much as you possibly can. All right. What is the role of the stomach? Okay, so the stomach mixes the bolus with gastric juices. Okay, so there's gastric juices that are produced in the stomach. It mixes with the bolus. Remember where the bolus comes from the mouth. Okay, so the stomach releases gastric juices that mix with the bolus by using churning movements to form what we call a chyme. Okay, the stomach also secretes some enzymes, so more enzymes will be secreted in the stomach for chemical digestion. Okay, but remember, some of the enzymes will be found in your salivary gland in the mouth. Okay, but most of the enzymes will be released in the stomach. Okay. Sorry about that error over there. Structure and function of alimentary canal is still there. So from the stomach, the food or the chyme will be moved into the small intestines. Okay, what are the small intestines? It's also a muscular tube of approximately 6.5 meters long. Okay, just to give you an idea of how long 6.5 is. Okay, so an average door is about 2 meters long. So a door is about 2 meters long. So if a door is 2 meters long, you'll have to multiply the 2 meters by 3 with an extra 0.5 meters to get an idea of how long small intestines are. So it's about 3 doors, a combination of 3 doors altogether. That's how long your small intestines are. Okay. Okay, but they're divided into 3 parts. Okay, the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. Okay, the surface area for absorption of the small intestines is very large. The surface area of the small intestines is very large. Okay, and this is made possible by many folds that occur in the intestinal walls. Okay, as well as the microvilli that are found on these folds. Okay, the surface area of the stomach is huge. Now you need to know this structure for examination purposes. You need to be able to label the structure. Remember, when you're labeling a structure, okay, make sure the line points exactly where it needs to point. Use solid lines, okay, and not dotted lines, because they can appear as confusing. Okay, so the microvilli found in the small intestines improve absorption in the following ways. They help increase the surface area. They help increase the surface area for absorption. Okay, they also make swinging movement that ensures close contact with the digested food molecules. Okay, and then the absorption surface is kept moist by mucus secreted by the epithelial cells found there. Okay, so those epithelial cells secrete mucus that keeps the absorption surface moist. Okay, and those epithelial cells are found in the microvilli. Okay, or a villus in singular form. The villi are well supplied with blood capillaries that can transport absorbed nutrients. Remember that the blood helps in the transportation of nutrients throughout the body. So the villi is well supplied with blood capillaries that can transport the absorbed nutrients. Okay, but we're going to be going into the process itself next week, in the session next week. There we have our arterial, capillary, and then we have our venule capillary. Okay, these capillaries help with the absorption of, or the transportation of the absorbed nutrients where needed in the body. Okay, the role of the small intestines. Chemical digestion takes place in the small intestines, okay, by means of the enzymes that are secreted by the small intestines. Okay, we're going to go into more detail on what enzymes are released in the small intestines exactly. Okay, but this chemical digestion began in the mouth with that first enzyme that was released, depending on obviously what food particle you are eating or you're trying to break down. Remember, enzymes are specific. They are substrate specific. Okay, you don't just like lactase cannot break down starch. Okay, each enzyme has its own food particle that it breaks down. Okay, another role of the small intestine is that it receives bile and pancreatic juices, which also assist in the chemical digestion. Okay, lastly, it helps with the absorption of nutrients. So the absorption of nutrients take place in the small intestines, which is the whole point of the digestive system, for the body or for the blood to absorb the nutrients and take it to where it is needed in our body. The eyes, if you were eating carrot, or it can be the bones if you were drinking milk for calcium. Wherever it is needed, the blood will take it. Okay, so this makes the villas well suited for that, because it's got a high supply of capillaries, blood capillaries. Okay. Okay, next we have the colon. Unlike the small intestine, it's not that long. It's just 1.5 meters long. Okay, so that's like half of a door. Okay, and it has a diameter of about 8 centimeters. That's a reasonably long diameter. Okay, you can just use your ruler to have an idea of what the diameter is. Sorry, just measure 8 centimeters on your ruler. The large intestine is divided into 3 parts: the caecum, the colon, and the rectum. And the role of the colon is also, it serves as a temporary storage, but not for food like the stomach. But in this case, the colon serves as a temporary storage for undigested waste products. So if food was not absorbed, whatever that wasn't absorbed into the blood will go into the colon as a waste product. Okay, another role of a colon is that it reabsorbs water. It reabsorbs vitamin K. Okay, again, in the colon or the large intestines, there is a mucus that is secreted that eases the movement of undigested waste products that come out as feces in the anus. So the mucus that is secreted in the colon will ease the movement of the undigested waste products. Okay, otherwise it would be a very painful process. Bile salts are also reabsorbed in the large intestines or the colon of the body. Okay, if you have any questions, please can you write them down in the question box. If you have your questions, please do not forget to write them in the question box. Also, remember to download the handouts. Remember to download the handouts from the handout section. Remember to ask questions relevant to the content that is being discussed today. Okay, the recordings will be made available for you to go back and look at it again. When labeling diagrams, we use blue pen. Okay, I know some curriculums you use black pen, but if you are writing Sakai or DBE examinations, you'll have to use blue pen. So solid lines with a blue pen for labeling. Right. So that brings us to the last part of the alimentary canal. Okay, next we're going to be looking at the structure and function of the accessory organs of the digestive system. Okay, we've mentioned some of this already. The first accessory organ would be the saliva found in the mouth. Okay, it consists of water, mineral salts, and enzymes. We've learned that in the slides in the beginning. Okay, the role of a saliva serves as a lubricant also. It mixes with the dry food to moisten it so that a bolus is formed. Okay, and the moist also, the saliva also makes it easy for us to swallow. Okay, saliva also contains amylase that helps to digest starch. The next accessory organ would be your teeth, which physically breaks down the food in the mouth into smaller particles. This process is known as mastication. Remember, terminology in life sciences is very important. Okay, there is a question in section A where you are given a description and you need to tell us what that process is. So you need to give us one word for that process or for that description. Okay, so the process in which food is broken down by the teeth into smaller molecules is known as mastication. Okay, so the role of teeth, already mentioned there, is for physical digestion or mechanical digestion so that the food can be broken down into smaller particles. Okay, the next accessory would be the tongue. Okay, the tongue helps with pressing the food against the teeth. Okay, when you eat after this session, just monitor what the organs in your mouth do. Okay, obviously you cannot monitor what happens from the pharynx going downwards, but just monitor what happens in your mouth. The tongue presses the food against the teeth to assist in the chewing process. It also contains taste buds. Okay, so you can taste what you're eating. Next accessory organs is the pancreas and the gallbladder. The gallbladder stores and releases bile that is produced in the liver. The pancreas consists of two types of cells, pancreatic cells and the cells of Langerhans. The pancreatic cells secrete pancreatic juice, which contains enzymes. Okay, this means that the pancreas is an exocrine gland, actually endocrine gland. You're gonna be doing the endocrine system next year in grade 12 to see what hormones are being released by the pancreas. Okay, so the cells of Langerhans secrete two types of hormones directly into the bloodstream. We have beta cells that secrete insulin and alpha cells that secrete glucagon. You will learn when we do homeostasis in the next session. Insulin lowers blood glucose levels. Okay, so if you eat sweets, okay, your glucose level or your sugar levels are going to rise in your system. Okay, remember, everything always needs to be in a balance. So what happens is when you eat, when there's a rise in sugar levels, the pancreas will release insulin, which will break down the glucose, which will lower the glucose levels in your body and bring it down into balance. Okay, if, however, there is little sugar in your system, the pancreas will release glucagon, which helps in converting the stored glycogen in the liver to glucose. Okay, so all this role, huge important role, is played by the pancreas in our body. Okay, remember, without the secretion of insulin, we will get what we call diabetes, okay, which is deadly if not treated properly, or if it's not handled properly. Okay, that's the role that the pancreas plays. Then the liver, our other accessory organ. Okay, it is located on the right side of the abdominal cavity, just under the diaphragm. It weighs about 1.4 kilograms. Okay, and this means that it is the body's biggest gland. The role of the liver is it produces bile, it stores glycogen, so that when the pancreas releases insulin, okay, the blood glucose lowers or is converted into glycogen. That glycogen will be stored in the liver until the body needs it again if there is a low supply of sugar in your body. So that glycogen in the liver will be broken down into glucose by the glucagon that is released in the pancreas. Okay, the liver also acts as a detoxifying organ that neutralizes toxins such as alcohol. Okay, so we are not doing our bodies any favors by drinking excess alcohol. Okay, because then it means that you make the liver work overtime. It will keep on breaking, trying to detoxify until it cannot work properly anymore. Okay, so you are refusing it the opportunity to perform its other duties. Right? Also, in the liver acts as a storage of vitamin A, D, E, K, and B12. Again, you can go back to your book last year to see what all these vitamins, what role they play in your body. Okay, it's not going to be examined, but it's great. It makes it easy for you to understand work when you can visualize it. So when you're speaking about vitamin, if you can see that the liver stores vitamin D or vitamin A, if you know what vitamin A is and what it does for your body, it will make it easy for you to remember the role of the liver. Okay, so you can just go back to your grade 10 books to see what all these minerals do or what they help your body with. Okay, this brings us to the end of our session. Let's look at some of the questions. Okay. Please type in any question that you might have on the session. The role of the bile inside the human body is that it emulsifies fat. Okay, so it helps with the emulsification of fat. The bile. No, you don't need to know the liver's weight for examination. Okay, I just put it in there so you can have an idea, so you can visualize it. They are called accessory organs because they don't form part of the main digestive system, which is the alimentary canal. Okay, they are associated with it, but they don't form part of the alimentary canal. Okay, you can find the slides on the handout section just below the polls. Okay, you can find the slides there. They are called large intestines because they have a large or a long diameter. They've got a diameter of 8 centimeters. Okay, whereas the small intestines have a smaller diameter. Okay, I'm gonna read out the question again. Why do they call it large intestines, although it sounds as if it's small? It is small in length, but the diameter makes it thick. So the diameter is longer than the small intestines. You will not be asked to answer. Yeah. You will be asked some questions on vitamins, because the next topic that you're going to do is dietary requirements of the body. If the liver is damaged from alcohol abuse, at some point you might need to get a transplant. Okay. Because you're going to have background knowledge of some of the work from your textbook. Okay, so this slides shouldn't replace your textbook. You can use them hand in hand. Maybe when you're preparing digestive system. Okay, if we have time next week, I will find an example that we can do together. Okay, let me just. You will be tested on the diseases. The trachea is not in the digestive system, so you will not be examined on that. In this section, that is. But for the breathing process, you will find it there. The diagrams that can be asked, yes, it's very important. You must know the alimentary canal together with its functions. You must know the parts of the alimentary canals and the role they play in the digestive system. It's very important. Okay, so you need to know the alimentary canal. You must be able to label it, but you will not be asked to sketch it. Okay, and the villas. The villas will be asked. You can be asked to label the villas. Okay, you can go test the digestive system now. Leave questions and comments before. You can go and eat if you're hungry. Please remember to take note of what the tongue is doing for you. It's working really hard to get that food into the small intestines. Okay, it's not useless. Besides, if you can't taste it, it will not be nice. Right? Thank you for tuning in, guys. I hope I have imparted some knowledge. Okay. And good luck with your exam, or good luck with preparing for your examinations. I'll see you next week for the continuation of the digestive system. Right. Goodbye.